welcome to the show, everybody. I am Brother.
I am Sister.
We are Brother and Sister. Well, we have a good show for you today, everybody. We're going to be talking about a classic of 90s kid stay-at-home sick TV, and that is, of course, the Big Comfy Couch.
Yes.
I'm sure, well, of course, Sister, you're very familiar with this.
I am very familiar with the Big Comfy Couch. The Big Comfy Couch was one of my absolute favorite shows growing up. I even had the Molly doll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't remember if I got it for Christmas or birthday or just was, a nice little present. I don't know.
Yeah, I believe it was some kind of present. Yeah, it had, just the classics. For those unfamiliar with the show, let's just set the scene here.
Set the scene.
So this was about a clown, a young clown, right?
Yep.
Who lived on her own.
Yes.
In just a large room.
Mm-hmm.
And this room had a couch.
The Big Comfy Couch.
Right.
Yeah.
Hence the name.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, she, had her grandmother living next door in some sort of, I don't know if this is the right word.
I don't know if it was her grandmother, but it was a grandmotherly type.
Right.
Who was also a clown.
Yeah.
Like all the people here are clowns.
A clown world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a clown world.
The newspaper man or the delivery man was a clown.
Yeah.
He rode a unicycle.
Was it Major Bedhead or Major Redhead?
Oh, I think it was Bedhead, wasn't it?
I think it was Bedhead. He did have red hair.
Well, this picture is going to be showing up here on the screen in a minute. But that's Lunette right there with Molly.
With Molly.
That's the doll.
Lunette
that's the doll
and
you
Molly.
had. Right.
That is the doll that I had, yeah.
And she wore a blue dress.
Blue dress, yeah.
You can see it right there.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that actually reminded me of the show recently. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Major Bedhead. I think it's Bedhead.
Yeah, I think it's Bedhead as well. Yeah, it's definitely Bedhead. Because his hair looks like Bedhead.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, anyway, they'd sit on this couch and have, adventures.
Mm-hmm.
She'd just pull all kinds of stuff out of this thing. Tennis rackets, hockey clubs.
All kinds of stuff would come out of this magical couch. It was much, much too big for her.
Yeah, exactly. And, through the doll, they would learn valuable lessons for children, like
stop and don't go. Wait
right.
till the green light says so.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great one. What was that for? Crossing the street.
That's for crossing the street.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the granny had a cat named Snickle Fritz. That's what I remember, too.
Yeah. Well, okay, one of the things that helped remind me of this recently was I was scrolling through Instagram Reels.
Right.
And someone had found the Molly doll, the Snickle Fritz doll,
oh my goodness,
and the Dust Bunny dolls. You remember the Dust Bunnies?
Oh, who could forget?
Yeah, they had a little section. They were, would pan to the Dust Bunnies under the couch, and they would be doing their own little shenanigans under there. They'd be wily folks,
Yeah, it was like a break from the clowning, and they do like little segments.
Yep. So, of course, I felt very nostalgic, and I ended up missing my Molly doll because when we moved to our new house, when I was going into fifth grade, we moved to this house and to our parents' current house, and then we were going through all of this stuff, and along comes my Molly doll, and there was a spot on it, but Mom freaked out, and she was like, it's mold, we have to get rid of Molly. And it was probably one of the most devastating things that could have happened to me.
It was pretty sad.
It was very sad. And of course, that might seem a little old for a fifth grader, but I don't think so.
I don't know. Lunette was much older than, this is the clown. She was much older than, I don't know how old she was.
I don't know how old she was, but
they kind of made it seem like clowns really didn't age. Like you were a clown. Like you were either born old or... It was very kind of fluid as far as how old all these people were.
Yeah, we didn't really know how old any of them were, except for grandmother, of course. Granny.
Right. Do you remember how they said they were born? Like they came like a cloud or something, wasn't it? It was like...
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, all clowns had the same birthday.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
I think that's what it was. They celebrated their clown day. I think that's what it was.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
Yes. Well, the segments, Mr. Bedhead or whatever we're calling him, he would have a delivery and bring her something, clown related every day. It's usually like a gag, like a prop comedy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling the guy who played this clown was a prop comic.
Oh, I think you're right. I think he was a prop comic.
Kind of Carrot Top style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We by no way are experts on this at all.
Oh, of course not. Like I said, I watched this when I was sick from school. I mean, and in the summer.
That's right. Okay, so looking at Molly right now, she has a little thought bubble of a gorilla, and that's how she would communicate. She'd have these little thought bubbles, and then Lunette would see them and then be like, ah, yes, and then they'd be able to communicate that way.
Exactly. Yeah. So she could read her thoughts, essentially.
Essentially, yes.
So would you say part of clowning is the ability to read minds?
Well, this show is definitely proving that to be so.
Yeah. I feel like clowning is kind of fallen out of favor, really.
I think it has. I think there's a vast love for clowning. Like, we went to a parade yesterday.
Yeah.
And usually there would be a bunch of clowns that would be in the parade. Our favorite one is this clown that would come by with a mirror. And he'd be like, hey, you want to see my Facebook? You want to see my friends in the Facebook? And he'd open the little mirror up, and there we were. We were in his Facebook.
Yeah, it was cute. A classic gag. It got kind of old after.
Well, but we look forward to it every year, and we go, oh, where's the Facebook clown? And he wasn't there this year.
Wasn't there. Yeah,
just really
just
sad.
Two clowns. I feel like it's kind of a dying profession, really.
It is true.
I did go to a birthday party when I was younger. So I am 34. You're a little younger than me, but anyway.
We're 90s sibs, basically.
Exactly.
We grew up in the 90s.
So
That's our jam right there.
I went to a birthday party when I was young that had a clown, and a legitimate clown, honest to goodness. It was, an older woman, I guess, who thought it was a good idea. I don't know. Clowning was still a thing then. Did you ever go to a clown party?
I never went to a clown party. I went to a lot of bowling parties. But those are still a thing, so I'm glad that didn't die out. No, I don't think I've ever seen an actual clown in person doing any clowning things besides the parade.
Yeah, they did like face painting, which I didn't do. I just, I don't know. Mm-hmm. This felt weird. Clown? Yeah. I don't know. I never liked clowns.
No, well, that's because... Let's tell this story, shall we?
I guess.
Well, when we were very young, I don't know how old you were. I was probably like 5.
Yeah.
You were probably about 9.
Yeah.
There's a 3 to 4 year difference between us, depending on whose birthday comes around. So we were at our grandma's. She lived out in a little suburb, Minnesota. We're from Minnesota. We'll just kind of put that out there. We'll talk about that probably sometimes. Anyway, she lived out in a little suburb. And there's this big open field, and one day the circus came to town. That was very exciting. The circus came to town.
Circus tent went up out of nowhere.
Yep.
And this big old circus came in.
Yep.
It was a real live circus.
I have no idea how we knew that it was coming. Maybe they sent around little flyers or something.
Probably.
But Mother took us there, and so it was Mom, me, you, grandmother, and then a few of the neighbor kids that came with us, and we were sitting kind of front and center. They didn't have it wasn't a big auditorium.
No.
It was just enough for
a tent.
A small suburb group of people to come around and watch the show.
Exactly.
So we were sitting pretty much right in front. And this clown scoped out Matthew and said, hey, why don't you come on down, join the fun? Right. So Matthew went down, and the clown had Matthew do many clowning tricks. Oh, I guess I did see a clown.
It was terrible.
Yeah, had Matthew do many clowning tricks, and at one point, he leaned Matthew over his knee and took a feather duster and dusted his bottom.
It was awful.
I lost it. I howled with laughter. That was priceless.
I could say, though, I was part of the circus. I do have experience
in
the circus arts.
Experience.
Yeah, that's a great thing to have on the resume.
Yeah, you could definitely put that down. Yeah. So anyway, then he came back, and I hid behind Grandma because I didn't want to go down.
Oh, who would? But I was in the circus.
Yeah, but I think ever since then, at that moment, you've had a disdain for clowns.
I wouldn't, just more of a mild annoyance.
Okay. All right. Mild annoyance. All right.
It seems like something, I just relate it to like those people who would ride the rails back in the 1800s. Carrying that stick with that weird bag on the end.
Like
I think it's called
hobo.
A bindle.
So you relate clowns to hobos, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Well, they have the same kind of patchwork style outfits.
Yeah, this is true.
The big shoes.
Mm-hmm.
There's just kind of a dirty dirt layer on them. I suppose when you're riding the rails, it gets pretty dusty.
I would assume so.
And when you're at a circus, you have that dirt floor.
That's true.
Kicking up all that dirt.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. One of our mom's dear friends actually wanted to go to clowning school, did go to clowning school.
Are you confusing that with Full House and Kimmy Gibbler?
No.
Clown College, I think she went
Clown
to.
College, that's right. Kimmy Gibbler did go to Clown College. That's very true. But no, Mom's friend wanted to go to clowning school because she wanted to make people smile.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, see, there are two takes to this. There's the camp that just really likes the clowns. Mm-hmm. And they really, they feel like they're there as a force of good.
Yep.
And then there's the whole, a few years ago with the whole scary clown routine where they had all those videos of people getting chased by clowns and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they have kind of taken the clowning aspect where clowns did start as jolly, happy people who wanted to make people smile.
I think to a certain extent, but then there was like that serial killer in the 70s who...
Right, but then it moved into clowns are scary and dangerous.
Exactly.
And
Stephen King, It? You ever seen... I've never seen it.
I saw It, yes.
Oh, see, I had a description of it when I was a kid. Somebody told me about the movie, and I was just terrified. I didn't see the movie. Maybe, but it's you just imagine this terrible clown chasing people, and
I
gave me
didn't
nightmares
really
for years.
know what it was about until little brother was like, hey, you want to watch this with me? It's kind of scary, but I think you'll like it. I was like, yeah, sure. Right. And I watched, and it didn't scare me as much as I thought it would, but definitely they have taken the direction of the clown from something that makes you smile into something that makes you terrified. So I think that's...
It's like the Maury show when they would bring on people who had their fears. That's another great one we should talk about, the Maury show.
We'll
Maury
talk
Povich.
about that, yep.
Yeah. Yep. They had that one woman who was afraid of pickles that one time.
Oh, yeah. And they were chasing her around the stage with pickles. Oh, man.
I feel like they had a clown involved in that, too.
I'm sure there had to be a clown involved in that.
We should talk about, like, the Jerry Springer show also would bring on clowns and scare people.
Yeah, so many shows, like, enjoyed scaring people. Just taking their worst fear and then presenting it to them.
Well, that's what it is on Instagram now, too. And they have those people do those pranks.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, they get some kind of weird thing hiding in a washing machine and then it jumps out.
But it's not like their worst fear. Like, these things would specifically seek out people's absolute worst fears and then torment them.
They'd fill out, like, a survey. What's your worst fear? Mm-hmm. And then they would purposely... That's why you should never really reveal your fears.
No.
I don't know if that's good advice or not.
I don't know. Maybe do a therapist.
Yes.
To the right people.
Yes.
Maybe not on
a television.
Of the Maury Povich show. Not to the producer of the Maury Povich show. Yeah, no, that's probably sound advice right there. No, but I just enjoyed watching The Big Comfy Couch when I was little.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I think my favorite segment of The Big Comfy Couch is when Lunette would get out and do her clock time.
I was about to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it was kind of a combined exercise routine / let's learn how to tell time segment.
Which I think is very, very great. Being a preschool teacher myself, I appreciate the fact of putting movement to learning. So... I think that's great.
It's a great mix.
But I think every single child who has watched the show has tried doing the clock time.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I remember during the show or after, any time hereafter, just getting down on the floor and trying to do clock time.
It's hard to do like 12:30.
Yeah, because you're basically doing the splits or 6 o'clock, 12:30 and 6 o'clock.
Oh.
Because she'd lay on her back, and her legs would be the arms, the hands of the clock.
So maybe it's just not possible. Some of the times, it's good for teaching people how to do like 4 o'clock.
Sure.
5 o'clock.
Sure. But if you're a gymnast, you could do it.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of gymnasts at the parade last night. They were going around doing their flips and all those things.
Somebody did take a little bit of a tumble in the street.
A little bit of a tumble, but
maybe they should be wearing helmets, but...
it might be kind of difficult.
They were okay, thankfully.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed The Big Comfy Couch.
What would you give it out of, like,
I think I'd have to watch it.
10 stars?
I'd have to, thinking about it just as a child, I loved it. It was my favorite show. I would say 10. However...
10 out of 10.
However, as an adult, I have not seen the show.
Right.
So I would have to go back and watch an episode of The Big Comfy Couch to see if it held up as much as it did when I was a kid.
I have a feeling it wouldn't.
You have a feeling it wouldn't?
No. I think it's for kids. It's like a kid's show.
Well, sure. So watching it as an adult probably wouldn't be as great as watching it as a kid. But I think kids would still enjoy the show today.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
you give it a 10 out of 10 as a kid. I would give it like an
Yep.
8 out of 10. It wasn't my favorite show, but if it was on, maybe I'd give it a 7, honestly.
Well, I wonder also if that's just because I love dolls.
That could be.
Like, and Molly was like the ultimate cutest little
It's
doll.
a very cute doll.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's great. It's great. All right, well, we got a 7 and a 10.
7
so,
out of 10.
We'll
Yep.
keep that, chart it, and we're going to compare it to the next show we watch. What do you think we're going to do next?
Oh boy, I don't know.
I think it should be the
come up with
Maury
something.
Show.
The Maury Show. Going from the big comfy couch to the Maury Show.
Oh, we got to talk about 90s things, right? We'll see. Well, tune in. We're going to do these every week or more often. I don't know. We'll get on a schedule here. But thanks for listening,
Thanks
everybody.
for tuning in.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.